Hi TJ. Hi Beefy. Welcome in. Welcome everybody. Happy Saturday. Hi Deborah. Hi KJ. Hi Justine. Hi Mary. How's everybody doing? Hi Lorna. Thank you, Anita. Hi TR. How are you? Hi Diane. Hi Justin. Hi Deborah. Happy Saturday. Oh, really, Sparkle? On Mother's Day, huh? Her birthday? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Everett C. Hi, April. Hi, Marie. Hi, it's only me. How you doing? Missed you. Thank you, Trisha. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Tanya. Thank you, Michelle, for the cute fairy hide. Trisha, thank you for the glowing jellyfish. Hi, Cable. Happy Saturday. I know, aren't the jellyfish so pretty? I love that one. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Porch Lore. If you're new here, my name is Devin. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Hi, Joker. Uh-oh, somebody's comment got filtered. That usually doesn't happen very much. Thank you, Bonnie. Welcome in. Hi, Laura. Delma, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. BJM, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hi, just in time. Just say an opinion, you found me over here. Hello. Joker, thank you for the galaxy. I appreciate you. Justin, I like that name. That's why I laughed. Thank you for the coral, Trisha. Lorna, thank you for the freestyle and the goat and the love you so much. And the spinning soccer. All right, you guys, if you could do me a big favor, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Oh, thank you, Joker. I appreciate that. Hi, Vicky. And then, if you guys want to, if anybody has any requests for what stories you would like to hear tonight, please put them in all capital letters in the chat. And I will write them all down. All capital letters. Country Strong. I'm not sure who that is. I'll have to look up who that is from. I've never watched Euphoria. I'm familiar with the show. I've just never watched it, so. We have a super fan box, everybody. From Phil. Thank you, Phil, for being so generous. You can click on the super fan box in the top left-hand corner. It looks like a little treasure box. And if you don't see it, that usually means you live in Canada or you need to update your app. Or maybe both. I'm just kidding. Trisha, thank you for the Blossom Fairy. Congratulations, Amy. Just saying, thanks for your first gift. Thank you. Congrats, Amy. Thank you, Phil, for being so generous. All right, does anybody else have any more requests before I start the first poll? Hi, Lady Rose. Hi, Robin. Thank you, Trisha, for the panther paw. Hi, Lolita. Hi, KJ. Hi, Nina. And yes, Thunder, we're about to vote on which scary story I am going to read. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the first poll for us to vote, and I'll be right back. Welcome to the porch. Also, thank you guys for the porch pals who write hi lemons who write keywords in the chat throughout the night. That helps the AI algorithm algorithm figure out who to send us out to. So things like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, spooky stories, scary stories, paranormal, supernatural, Mothman, Goatman, cryptids, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, storyteller, ASMR, anything like that really helps. So thank you to anybody who feels compelled to randomly write comments with those keywords every once in a while. It really helps. Thank you so much. I'll be right back with the poll. Oh, and I think Amy gave me corn. There's the corn chomp. Okay, you guys, the poll is ready. And we have the Mothman versus the Phantom Ride, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking, and that is the Uber one that somebody in the chat requested. The Phantom Ride, the Selkies, the Lonely Hearts Diner, which is the Valentine's Day special, and then we have Rain Crow Shelter, which is an Appalachian story. A lot of people asked for one of those. So we have the Mothman, the Phantom Ride, the Selkies, the Lonely Hearts Diner, and the Rain Crow Shelter. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box if you're on TT. And you can vote up to 50 times. And you can vote for more than one story. Who's it gonna be? The Mothman, the Phantom Ride, the Selkies, the Lonely Hearts Diner, or the Rain Crow Shelter? Oh, the Selkies, nobody likes them. They never win. All right, and the winner is The Phantom Ride, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. I will be right back with the tale of The Phantom Ride. And if you guys would do me a big favor while I'm setting up that story, hit that share arrow in the bottom right hand corner. And there is a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs and it helps us grow this beautiful porch of ours. Hi Marie. Hi Purple Unicorn. Third Eye, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Also Bayou Bunny and User, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. And while you guys wait for me to set up the next story, feel free to grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, watch the shooting stars, and welcome to the porch. As I always say, there's always room for one more on the porch. Happy Saturday. Samantha, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Yeah, Joker, that was probably a mistake. By the way, thank you for asking instead of just coming up. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about that. That happens with tapping sometimes. I accidentally muted somebody today in Kim's live. I'm one of her mods. When I was trying to reply to him, like he had a funny comment and I muted him and all his comments went away. And I was like, shit, I felt so bad. I had to unmute him and he's like, what happened? I'm like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, thanks, Joker. I appreciate it. Aunt Delia, that's so sweet. I'm so glad to have you here. Good evening, Janelle. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of the Phantom Ride. Tonight, we're diving into a story that blurs the lines between reality and nightmare. A tale as old as time, but with a modern twist. We all use ride-sharing apps like Uber or Lyft. We tap request, and moments later, our driver arrives. Simple, convenient, and safe, right? But what if I told you that for one unlucky rider, this simple act turned into the beginning of a horrifying ordeal? Tonight, I bring to you the tale of the Phantom Ride. So plug in your headphones, sit back, and prepare to be taken on a journey that you may never return from. Thank you, Lily. It was a cold October night in the heart of the city. Jake, a 25-year-old freelance graphic designer, was at his friend's Halloween party. The celebration had gone on for hours, but as midnight approached, he felt the need to head home. He'd had just enough drinks to make driving not an option, so naturally he opened the Uber app and requested a ride. The estimated time of arrival, 5 minutes. As Jake stood outside, watching the little car on the app make its way closer, he felt that familiar autumn chill nip at his skin. He shivered, pulling his hoodie tighter around him. The streets were unusually quiet for the weekend, and despite being surrounded by people earlier, he now realized that he was eerily alone. The car pulled up, headlights briefly cutting through the fog, and Jake approached the vehicle. He opened the back door and slid into the seat. The car smelled of pine air freshener, which was strangely comforting. Jake glanced up at the driver, a middle-aged man with a thin, unsettling smile. His eyes flickered through the rearview mirror, meeting Jake's for just a moment before turning back to the road. The man's Uber profile had a name, Eli. No ratings, no reviews. Jake figured he was just new to the app. "You Jake?" the driver asked. Jake nodded, muttering confirmation. As they pulled away from the curb, something about Eli's demeanor unsettled Jake. But he shook it off, telling himself it was just the late hour and maybe the drinks. The ride started off normal enough, but then Jake noticed something strange. The car was taking turns the GPS hadn't called for. Jake looked down at his phone and his route had changed. Instead of heading to his apartment on the other side of town, they were going deeper into an industrial district. Desolate, filled with old warehouses and barely any streetlights. The fog outside thickened, making it harder to see beyond the window. Jake sat up straighter, his senses suddenly on high alert. "Hey, I think you're going the wrong way," Jake said, trying to sound casual but failing to hide the nervous edge in his voice. Eli didn't respond at first. His hands gripped the wheel tightly, and after a beat too long, he spoke. "Don't worry, kid. We're almost there." Jake's heart began to race. He was miles from where he should be, in an area he didn't recognize, with a man who was now driving silently through the misty, dark streets. Just as panic started to set in, Eli broke the silence. "You ever hear of the Phantom Ride?" the driver asked, his voice casual, yet dripping with something sinister. Jake swallowed hard, shaking his head slightly, though part of him didn't even want to engage. But Eli continued. "Legend has it that some people get into rides just like this one, and they don't ever get out." Jake's palms started to sweat. He tried the door handle only to realize that there was no manual lock. Panic shot through him as he tapped the Uber app, trying to hit cancel or report ride. But the app wouldn't even load. It just spun and spun. And then Eli asked, "Do you want to hear a riddle?" Jake was now fully in fight or flight mode, but there was nowhere to go. The car continued down the desolate road, and the streetlights became fewer and farther between. A riddle?" Jake asked, trying to stall, trying to think of an escape. Eli grinned, eyes flickering back to Jake through the rearview mirror. "Answer it correctly, and I'll take you home. But if you get it wrong, you'll stay in this car forever." What has no life, yet can grow, can't see, but can show. Jake's mind raced. No life but can grow. He thought of plants, but they're alive. Can't see, but can show. A mirror? No, that didn't fit. His heartbeat was deafening in his ears. He knew he had seconds before Eli would expect an answer. He could feel Eli's eyes watching him like a predator. Finally, Jake stammered. A shadow. It's a shadow. Eli was silent for a while, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. And then he smiled. Correct, the driver said. Without another word, Eli pulled over to the side of the road. It wasn't Jake's apartment, but at this point, he didn't care. The car came to a stop, and Jake bolted out before Eli could say anything else. His heart was pounding as he stumbled into the foggy night. He was in the middle of nowhere, but at least he was out of that car. The cold air hit him like a slap, and his mind raced as he started running. He finally looked back, and the car and Eli were gone. Disappeared like they never existed. Jake was found wandering at the edge of town the next morning, shaking and incoherent but alive. He deleted the Uber app and swore to never take a rideshare again. The authorities? They found no record of the ride in his history. It was as if the entire experience had been erased, like a phantom in the night. So, listeners, the next time you call for a ride, late at night, be sure to check the driver's name and the destination, because you never know where you might end up. And that's the tale of the Phantom Ride. All right, welcome in everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Hi, Gigi. If you like these stories, I do record them all. I write them all and record them all myself. And they are available on my YT channel as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. If you just look for Porch Lore, you will find me. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Live, Love, Laugh. How are you? All right, you guys. And I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. Yes, I have an entire playlist over there called Bedtime Stories. You can just hit play all or loop and listen to them all back to back to back. Thank you, Lily. By the way, guess what? I added Can I Bet That Dog t-shirts for you guys with, so far I did Bigfoot, Mothman, and the Fresno Nightcrawler. They're funny. It says, Can I bet that dog? Can I bet that dog? So I made them for you guys. Hi, Carmen. Aw, thanks, Delia. Yes, I write these stories. Thanks, Bisbee. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Yes, Lily. Yeah, can I pet that dog? Thanks, Glossette. All right, guys. I'm going to set up the next poll for us to vote for the next story. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Charlotte. And I will be right back so we can vote on the next story. Welcome to the porch. Oh, thank you, Live, Laugh, Love. Thanks for subbing MIYT. If you guys want to grab a beanbag chair or a hammock, check out the shooting stars and relax. Welcome to the porch. As I always say, there is always room for one more. I'll be right back with the next poll to vote. And thank you, Janae, for the coral. So pretty. Right, Beefy? They're really funny shirts. Can I pet that dog? Oh, hello, Tiffany. Welcome in. Tiffany Scissorhands is a wonderful name. That's hilarious. I love it. Welcome in. Thank you, Janae. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Kimchi. Thank you, Amber. All right, guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Natchez Trace Spirits versus the Appalachian Doppelganger versus the Fresno Night Crawlers versus the Pine Barrens Beast versus the Camper Van. And you can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner, and you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. We have the Natchez Trace Spirits. We have the Appalachian Doppelganger. We have the Fresno Night Crawlers. We have the Pine Barrens Beast. And we have the camper van. Justin Sparkle Tree said Natchez Trace. Thank you, just saying. Yes, I don't really have a way to turn it up, but people told me not to turn it up over there either. Lovely said it would be too loud. So I get mixed reviews on, but it should be the same level because it's literally coming from the same exact source. So I'm not really sure why it would be more quiet. It shouldn't be. But thank you. I appreciate it. That's what I'm thinking, Justine. I'm thinking it depends on the phone or something. Because, like in the playback recordings on YT, it seems to be okay. Because I've listened to the recordings to like check and see. So it seems to be at the same level. So I'm not really sure what the difference is. Thank you, Justine. All right. And the winner is the Appalachian Doppelgangers. I will be right back. Oh man, Delia, that sucks. Hi, Leprechaun. All right, you guys, I will be right back with the tale of the Appalachian Doppelganger. And while I'm setting the story up, if you would do me a big favor and hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner, there is a yellow circle with two arrows chasing each other that says repost. And that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And it helps us grow this beautiful porch. I'll be right back with the next story. Welcome to the porch. Happy Saturday. Hi, CJ. Yes, you joined right at the tent. Welcome in, Misfits. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Sparkle. Welcome back, Charlotte. Wishing you fast healing. We're glad to have you back. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Appalachian doppelgangers. The Appalachian Mountains are a place of undeniable beauty. Their peaks and valleys stretching out like something from a painting. But they've always carried an undercurrent. Uh-oh. Hold on, sorry you guys, something happened on YT. I have no idea why. Sorry guys. YT's thing just blacked out. Sorry guys. This is why I have to watch them all on different devices. Because I would have never known. I just would have kept reading. It should change. There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys, on YT and Twitch. I have no idea how that happened. Sorry. All right. I'll start over. Yeah, I have no idea why that happened. Yeah, Sparkle, I use Restream to stream on the other two. And I'm still learning it, and it seems sometimes to have a little glitchy things here and there, and I literally didn't touch anything. So it just did that on its own. Because like the layers it just showed you was my camera and my music, and then the image. It just like pulled out all 3 layers. So weird. So thank you for your patience, guys. Hi, Dak. Welcome in. I'm going to start over so I can keep my cadence and rhythm to the music. Because if you are new here, I do write and record all these stories myself, and I do read them to the music. This is my special background music, and I time it to the music. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Appalachian Doppelgangers. The Appalachian Mountains are a place of undeniable beauty. Their peaks and valleys stretching out like something from a painting. But they've always carried an undercurrent of something darker. A sense that they're alive in ways that we can't quite understand. When I got the last-minute group chat invitation from my old college friends for the weekend camping trip, I hesitated. It wasn't like them to be so spur of the moment, and something about it felt odd. But the idea of getting out of Nashville and into the fresh mountain air won me over. I packed my gear, loaded up the car, and I hit the road, eager to reconnect. The drive took me through winding roads that seemed to pull me deeper and deeper into the wilderness. By the time I reached the trailhead, the late afternoon sun was casting long shadows across the parking lot. My friends Becca, Jenna, and Laura were already there waiting by their cars. Something about the way they stood perfectly still and silent until I pulled in gave me a pause. But as soon as I stepped out, they were all smiles and laughter, bustling to unload their gear and head to the campsite. The hike to the campsite was uneventful at first, though the trail was unusually silent. There were no birds, no rustling of leaves, just the crunch of our boots on the dirt path. As we walked, I noticed a few odd things. A set of deep gouges on a tree trunk, a pile of stones arranged in a strange spiral pattern beside the trail. The campsite was about 3 miles in, tucked into a clearing surrounded by towering pines. It should have been picturesque, but something about it felt wrong. The ground was bare, but my friends didn't seem to notice. They chatted as they set up their tents, their voices echoing unnaturally in the stillness. That night, we sat around the campfire. The woods seemed to close in around us. The darkness felt thicker than usual, the kind that swallows your inadequate flashlight beam. and it makes every shadow look like it's moving. The conversation drifted to ghost stories and then urban legends, each tale punctuated by nervous laughter. But something was off. The stories my friends told didn't sound like them. Becca's story was rambling and disjointed, not her usual sharp wit. And Jenna's laugh came a fraction too late, like she'd forgotten how to time laughing. And Laura, the most grounded of us all, stared into the fire with an intensity that made my skin crawl. So I went to bed early, blaming it on the hike. But in truth, I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. I laid in my tent listening to the crackle of the dying fire and the occasional murmur of my friends' voices. And then I heard it, a low guttural sound coming from the woods. It wasn't an animal, at least not one that I've ever heard. It was followed by a rustling and then silence. I held my breath, my heart pounding, but nothing else happened. I told myself it was just my imagination, though I didn't sleep much after that. The next morning, things got stranger. Becca's tent was empty. Her sleeping bag was neatly rolled up inside, and when I asked where she'd gone, Jenna and Laura just stared at me blankly. And then almost in unison they said she'd gone to get water. There was no water source nearby and we'd brought everything we needed. After a while I offered to go look for her, but they waved me off saying that she'd be back soon. The nonchalant tone of their voices did not match the situation. I decided to take a short walk to clear my head, hoping the fresh air would help. As I wandered, I came across something that stopped me in my tracks. A pile of bones, picked clean and arranged in a circle. They looked too large to be from an animal, but I wouldn't let myself think of the alternative. I turned back for the campsite, my pace quickening with each step. And when I returned, Jenna and Laura were sitting by the fire, eerily calm, and all of Becca's things were gone. When I asked where she was, they acted like she had never been there. My pulse quickened as I scanned their faces, searching for some sign of the friends that I've known for years. Their expressions were blank, almost empty. I tried to hide my panic, forcing a laugh and saying I wasn't feeling that well and I needed to leave. They didn't argue. They didn't even react. They just watched as I packed my gear. Their eyes following me with an unsettling precision. I slung my pack over my shoulder and I turned to leave. And Jenna looked at me and said, "You shouldn't have come here." Her eyes were wrong. They were too dark, like the pupil had swallowed the irises entirely. I didn't even respond. I just turned around and I walked. My steps quickened as I put distance between myself and the campsite. But I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The woods seemed different now. The trees closer together. The path harder to follow. and I stumbled more than once. And then I heard it, that guttural sound from the night before, closer this time. It was followed by heavy footsteps crashing through the underbrush. Whatever it was following me. I broke into a run, my pack slamming against my back as I tore through the woods. The footsteps gained on me, the sound of snapping branches and labored breathing growing louder. I didn't dare look back. Thank you, just saying. My lungs burned and my legs ached, but I kept going until I burst into the trailhead and I saw my car. Relief flooded through me as I found my keys, practically throwing myself inside and locking the doors. As I sped down the mountain, a metallic smell lingered, clinging to my clothes and filling the car. I didn't stop until I reached my apartment in Nashville, slamming the door behind me and collapsing on my couch. And then my phone buzzed with a notification that made my stomach drop. It was the group chat, and the message was simple. "Are you almost here? We're waiting by the trailhead." I just stared at it, my hands trembling. And as I pushed the lock button on my phone, the date popped up. And it was Friday again. Like the entire weekend hadn't even happened yet, and my friends were there waiting for me now. To this day, I don't know what happened in those mountains. Was it a time slip? Did I enter some parallel universe where those weren't really my friends? I don't know what I saw, or if or when my friends had ever really been there with me. All I know is that I'll never go back. And I'll never ignore that quiet voice in the back of my mind again that tells me when something just isn't right. And that's the tale of the Appalachian doppelgangers. Thank you, Sparkle. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Justin. That's so kind, you guys. All right. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. I am here every single night from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all these stories myself, and they are all available on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Sarah, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. I also premiere a new one of these stories every Monday live on my YT channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to join us, for a live chat and a live premiere and a first listen of the new story of the week, meet me on my YT channel on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a lot of fun over there. It's only about 15 minutes long usually, so. Thank you, Michelle. So cute. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Echo. All right, and I will be right back with the next poll for us to vote for the next story. And if you guys could do me a big favor, could you hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner? And there's a little yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost. That puts my live into your friends' FYPs, and it helps us grow our beautiful porch, and it helps so much more than you realize. Also, thank you for all the tapping. That helps immensely. And thank you for all the comments and the sweet gifts. And especially the tappers out there, I appreciate it. Thank you. I will be right back with the next poll for us to vote. Okay, the next poll is ready. We have the Dream Machine versus the Lonely Hearts Diner versus the Puck Wedgies versus the Pine Barrens Beast versus the Mothman. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There is a blue box. You can vote up to 50 times a person, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it going to be? The Dream Machine, which is an Are You Afraid of the Dark reworking. The Lonely Hearts Diner, which is a Valentine's Day special. The Puck Wedgies, the Pine Barrens Beast, or the Mothman. Lovely, you're so funny. I love you. Hi, Yanni. Hi, Christina. I love you. How you doing? Yanni, are you leaving already? I didn't even know you were here. Good night, Christina. I love you. Sweet dreams. Oh, you just came to say goodnight. Aw, I love you, Yanni. Good night. Y'all, that's one of my real best friends. Love you. Sweet dreams. Catherine, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the porch. Hi, Bob. Oh, Pepper and her pseudo pregnancy. Gotta love her. Sweet dreams. I love you, Yanni. Good night. Sleep tight. Tell Pepper I love her. CJ, why don't you just give that a goog? Why don't you give that a quick goog? All right, the winner is the Lonely Hearts Diner. I'll be right back with that story. Yeah, Esmeralda, that's very weird. Because it's coming from the same source. Yeah, I don't know why there would be a difference in music. Because it's literally coming from the same. I can't change the volume on one and not the other. It's coming from my iTunes. So, yes, Christina, there's a give it a goog sticker. Because I say that a lot. I'm like, why not? Well, let's give it a goog. Let's give it a goog. Yeah, see, some people are saying it sounds the same. Millie says it sounds the same. And so did Lovely. So I bet your YT settings are on auto and it's giving you the low definition. I think YT does that. I think you have to change your YT viewing settings to higher definition. Better sound. All right, I'll be right back with the tale of the Lonely Hearts Diner. Yeah, well, YT is set to auto level audio, but there's literally no other reason it would be lower. I'm using the same audio source, so it has to be like y'all's individual YT settings for playback. Because like I only learned that because I make videos on YT, and when I was watching my own videos, they were coming back blurry and shitty sound. And then I had to go to the little gear shift thing and change it to not auto. So its default is auto. So unless you have made a point to change your settings, then that's why it sounds quieter. Yeah, no, it's not just you, Delia. Everybody, a lot of people are saying that. And it's just a setting you have to change, and no one would do that unless you're like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just usually on automatic. But automatic usually, like, it depends on if you're on Wi-Fi, all these other things, if you're using data, etc. It will use the lower one. And you know what I mean? There's a lot of differences. So it's definitely on each individual's settings. Because over here, I'm literally using the same exact music source with the same exact volume. So it shouldn't, there should really be no difference. And on the recordings afterwards, yeah, you have to adjust your settings, Millie said. Yep. See, so Millie said it sounds fine for her, and she adjusted her settings. So basically you have to do that. But because the recordings from YT sound fine. So it's got to be something on each of y'all's individual devices. The story that won was the Lonely Hearts Diner, and I'll be right back with that. Beefy, you ordered shirts from the merch site. Yay! That's so exciting. Aw, thank you, Em. I love that one. Thank you so much. Okay, Trisha, I got it for you. Also, if any of you guys ever like the backgrounds, do what Trisha did and write print request in all capital letters and the name of the story if you can remember it. If not, just do it while the story is still up, and I will add it to the merch site so you can buy a framed print of that story background. Because I have so many that I'm only going to do it to the stories that people request for now. But let me know. I'll be right back. Thank you, Trish. That's so sweet. They really are cool. Yes, lovely. I want to do a print wall. Thank you, Sunshine. Welcome in. I'm just saying, did it work? You said message received. Did it work? Did you find the setting? Does it sound better? Trisha, I love that one. Thank you so much. That one's so pretty. And thank you for the cozy cryptids. Oh, thank you. God, that's so pretty. That looks like the background I make. Like, I love galaxies and nebulas and stuff. And like, I always choose that as my backgrounds for everything. Hi, Winnie. Isn't that gorgeous, lovely? I love it. Every time I tell someone Devin did it, I think back to who's Devin? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait. Lovely, you're going to have to explain this one. Okay, be right back. Quick swig. Oh, thank you, Winnie. I appreciate that so much. Tracy, thank you for the fairy hide. I'm actually a siren, Winnie, so people tell me that a lot. Just saying, now I want to know. Now I want it fixed for you. Or go back over to TT and listen to it over there if it's better on your phone. Aren't they cute, lovely? That's why I made them my goal. The little, I don't even know why they're called fairy hide, but they're so cute. They're like fat little pink and purple things. So cute. Thank you, Tracy. I love how the autocorrect always changes Goatman to Boatman. So everybody who's talking about him, it'll be like the Boatman Festival. Hi, Ange. Shelly, thank you for your first gift ever. So sweet. James, what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that question? Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. This is the tale of the Lonely Hearts Diner. Valentine's Day has a certain kind of silence to it when you're alone. Not the peaceful kind. The kind that hums under your skin. It always felt like the world got louder about love on purpose. Like every heart-shaped decoration and overpriced bouquet was meant to remind you of something you didn't have. Or something you lost. Or something you stopped believing in. This year, I wasn't heartbroken. I was just done. I had surrendered to the idea that love wasn't coming back around for me. And I wasn't bitter about it. I wasn't even sad in that sharp way I used to be. It was more like the dull acceptance of the weather. Some people get spring, and some people get winter. I was traveling alone again, as I often did, crossing state lines like they were nothing. It was a road trip that stretched across the country, fueled by gas station coffee, and the kind of curiosity that never really turns off. I was researching supernatural folklore, collecting stories from forgotten towns and diners, where old men still talked about lights in cornfields, and women who vanished on back roads. I had always been drawn to places where the veil felt thin. And Valentine's Day just happened to fall in the middle of my road trip. By the time night came, I was deep in the kind of rural darkness that makes you realize how small headlights really are. The interstate was long behind me. I was on a back road I couldn't even name, guided more by instinct than GPS. The world outside my windshield reduced to bare trees and occasional snowbanks glowing faintly under the moon. My stomach had been growling for miles. The coffee I had earlier was long gone, replaced by that tired heaviness that makes your eyes ache and your thoughts blur. I told myself I'd find something soon. A truck stop, a late night diner, anything. But the road only grew darker. And then around the bend I saw it. A glow. Soft and warm. Neon. A diner sat alone on the side of the road, as it had just been dropped there from another decade. A vintage 1950s style, chrome trim, big front windows fogged with warmth. A neon sign buzzing above the roofline that read, "The Lonely Hearts Diner." The parking lot was half full, which felt impossible out here in the middle of nowhere on Valentine's Day. And the windows were decorated with paper hearts. Hand-painted banner stretched across the glass that said, "Anti-Love Valentine's Dinner for the ones who quit believing." I slowed, my tires crunched over the gravel as I pulled in. The diner looked cozy and inviting. Hungry and exhausted, I told myself not to overthink it. I needed a break. I stepped out into the cold, and the air hit my lungs like ice. But the diner's warmth spilled out through the cracks of the door, carrying the smell of coffee and fried food and something sweeter underneath, like pie cooling on a windowsill. Inside, it was brighter than it should have been. Golden light and vinyl booths, and a counter lined with spinning stools, and a jukebox glowing in the corner. Every table was occupied. But not by couples, by singles. By people sitting alone with their coffee cups between their hands, faces turned inward, like they were listening to their own thoughts. The atmosphere was quiet, but not sad, more like reverent. I slid into a booth near the window, shrugging off my coat, and a waitress appeared almost immediately. She wore a pale pink uniform, old-fashioned, the kind you only see in photographs or movies. Her hair was pinned up neatly and her face kind but unreadable, like someone who had seen too much. She set a menu down in front of me, and the menu was simple. Grilled cheese, fries, coffee, pie. The Valentine's special. But at the very bottom, in small cursive, it read, "Tonight's special, closure." I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the weather. I ordered coffee and the grilled cheese with fries and pie. The waitress nodded, moving away with a softness that made no sound. And as I waited, I looked around and everyone in the diner seemed tired. Not physically, but spiritually. Good night, Lorna. A man at the counter stared into his mug like it contained an ocean. A woman in a dark coat sat with her hands folded, her wedding ring still on her finger. An older gentleman picked at a slice of pie, his eyes distant as if remembering someone who was long gone. This wasn't a diner for heartbreak. It was a diner for surrender. My coffee arrived and it was hotter than it should have been, steaming like it had been poured straight from the center of the earth. But I took a sip, and it tasted like every late night conversation I'd ever had with someone who mattered. It tasted like warmth, like being understood without explanation. I stared down at it, unsettled. The waitress moved through the room, refilling cups, setting plates down, her presence quiet but constant. The man at the counter lifted his head. His shoulders eased. The woman with the wedding ring exhaled as if she'd been holding her breath for years. And slowly I noticed a few people began to smile. Small, hesitant smiles, and not at each other, at themselves, at something remembered. The jukebox clicked and a different song began, still slow and still soft, but less mournful, more hopeful. I found myself thinking about love in ways that I hadn't allowed myself to in years. And not romantic love, but love as a concept, as a human thing. Friendship, kindness, the way a stranger can hold a door open on a hard day. The way a place can feel like home even if you've never been there before. And I realized something then. I had been telling myself that I had given up on love because it hurt less than hoping. But the truth was, hope had never really left. It had just gotten quiet. My food came, and it was simple diner food, but it tasted like it was made with care. Like someone had made it with intention. As I ate, my tired heaviness in my chest began to lift. Not because I suddenly believed in soulmates, but because I remembered that love wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just romance. It wasn't just Valentine's Day. It was everywhere, in small forms, just waiting to be noticed. When the waitress brought my check, it was tucked inside a little paper heart. Not red, but silver. And written inside in delicate script was something that made my throat tighten. A reminder that giving up on love was not the same as being free from it. I left cash on the table more than enough, and as I stood, the waitress met my eyes. Her expression was gentle, like she already knew that I'd be okay. Outside, the cold wrapped around me again, but it felt different now. Cleaner, less cruel. The neon sign buzzed softly behind me as I walked back to my car. The Lonely Hearts Diner glowed against the dark road like a lantern. I drove away with caffeine in my veins and something unfamiliar in my chest. Not romance, not longing, just openness. The next morning, curiosity gnawed at me. I told myself I should go back and thank that waitress. So I followed the same back road. I drove slowly, watching for the neon glow. Mile after mile passed and nothing. No diner. No parking lot, no sign. Only woods. Only empty roadside. My stomach tightened. I checked my map. Turned around again. Slowly creeping down the road, eyes peeled to the side, but nothing. Finally, I stopped at a small gas station miles away and I asked the clerk about it. He shook his head and said that there was no diner. But he said that there was an old rumor, a ghost story, about a diner that appeared once a year, only on Valentine's Day. A place for the lonely. A place for the ones who had quit believing. A place that served coffee and closure. And then it vanished before morning. I drove back to the road anyway. I parked where I thought it had been. I got out and I stood in the snow. There was no gravel lot, no tire tracks, no evidence. Only a frozen ditch and wind moving through dead grass. It was as if the diner had never existed. Except it had. I could still taste the coffee. I could still feel the warmth. I realized then that maybe the diner wasn't meant to be found twice. Maybe it wasn't a place, but it was a moment. A haunting not of terror, but of hope. A reminder that even on the loneliest holiday of the year, love can still find people. Not always in the way they expect. Not always as romance. Sometimes as a warm booth in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes as a waitress who looked at you like you were still worth saving. And every Valentine's Day since, I have found myself wondering, how many lonely hearts were sitting in that diner right now? Drinking coffee, letting go, remembering, and believing again. And that's the tale of the Lonely Hearts Diner. Thank you, Brian. All right, you guys, I'm going to set up the next poll for the next story. Thanks, Delia. I thought so too. I appreciate that. I'm going to set up the next poll so we can vote for the next story. And if you're new here, there's Mothman too, Lily. There's Mothman, Bigfoot, and Nightcrawler so far. Yes, Lindsay, I will. Also, if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. And while I set up... Oh, welcome in, Little Big Walk. Thanks for being here. While I set up the next poll, if you guys could do me a big favor, if you could hit that share arrow in the bottom right-hand corner. There's a yellow circle with 2 arrows chasing each other that says repost, and that puts my live into your friends' FYPs. And also, if you could keep tapping, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will set up the next poll. Be right back. All right, you guys, the next poll is ready. We have the door in the water. Oh, Thay's getting sleepy. We have the door in the water, the boo hag, the Fresno Nightcrawlers, the librarian, and the footprints on the lake. And you can vote in the top left-hand corner. There's a blue box. And you can vote up to 50 times, and you can vote for more than one story. Who's it going to be? The door in the water, the boo hag, the librarian, or the footprints on the lake? All right, and the winner is The Door in the Water. Whoop whoop. I'll be right back. Hi, Jade. Welcome in. Thank you, Pixie. Brittany said Mothman had a mother. Hi, Skittles. Thay, you crack me up. I love you. Hi, Holly. Good luck, Matt. All right, I will be right back with the tale of The Door in the Water. Thank you, Jen. Aren't those so cute? Lillian, thank you for your merch order. Delia said new track. Yes, this is my Banshee, Selkie, Scorned Woman background music. Oh, Matt, we love you too. I'm so glad you found us too. Exactly, Michelle. Lily, you can still cancel your order and reorder it. You have time. Do it right now, though, because they're very quick about fulfilling orders. They'll fulfill it within the hour. So cancel it right now and then just reorder it. because that's totally okay. I've already had a couple people had issues and they just canceled their order. Go back in and find your order, and I think, or check your email. I'm not really sure how to cancel it, but I know that we've had a couple people do that. And then they just reordered. Ange, are you in here right now? Are you still in here, Ange? Yeah, we just voted for the Selkies, for the door in the water. Yes, Trisha, it is. That's the name of the story. Yeah, Ange, how did you cancel your order? Can you help Lily real quick? She ordered the wrong size. She needs to cancel it quick before they start fulfilling it. And I remember you were able to do it. Oh, you figured it out, Lily. Okay, good. Yeah, Trisha. And I provided a whole typed out list on the Discord, and I put the actual titles, and then I put in parentheses what their nicknames are, because I'm trying to start using their actual titles so that people remember the titles better to request stuff. But I'm not sure, Lily. I can check really quick. Hold on. Actually, I don't think I can check. I'm not. Let me check. Hold on. Give me 1 sec. Yes, it shows that you canceled it. It's canceled. Don't worry. So you're good to reorder. It shows it's canceled. Yes, Beefy, I can see your comments. And yes, that's my pet seal, Curtis, in case you guys didn't know. That's me on the rock, and that is Curtis. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Palace Society. This is the tale of the door in the water. Ireland has a long memory for the things that live near the water. Rivers, lakes, tidal inlets, places where the land blurs into something deeper, have always carried their own folklore. Long before written history, stories passed from village to village about beings that lived in those shifting boundaries between land and water. Some were said to be spirits. Others were described as ancient races that existed alongside humanity but rarely revealed themselves. One of the oldest and most widely known among them is the Selkie. In Scottish and Irish folklore, Selkies are described as seals that can shed their skins and take human form on land. The stories appear in oral traditions stretching back centuries along the Atlantic coast, particularly in places where fishing villages lived side by side with the sea. But the legends don't treat Selkies like romantic fairy tale creatures. Most of the old stories carry warnings. They describe fishermen seeing seals watching them from the water with an unsettling intelligence. They describe people who claim to encounter strangers along empty shorelines who seemed almost human but not. And the most persistent belief woven through these stories is simple. If a Selkie's sealskin is stolen while they are on land, they cannot return to the sea. Some folk tales describe human men hiding the skins and forcing the Selkie to marry them and remain on land. But the ending of those tales is rarely happy, usually resulting in the Selkie killing the human man and finding her skin and leaving. No matter what life she built on land, no matter who she leaves behind, when given the choice, she will always return to the sea. And the men who tried to remove that choice usually wound up dead. And in some stories, the sea takes something with it when that happens. The man's soul. I had been traveling along Ireland's western coastline for several days, working on a series of folklore that still lingers quietly in certain landscapes. The Atlantic coast of Ireland is the perfect place for that kind of story. Cliffs fall straight into cold gray water. Fishing villages sit exactly where they have for centuries. The wind carries the smell of salt and seaweed across miles of open stone. It's the kind of place where old stories don't feel completely separate from the present. Eventually, my route took me to Doolin, a small village perched along the coast not far from the cliffs of Moher. Most visitors come there for the cliffs or the traditional music clubs. But a few miles north of the village sits a narrow stretch of shoreline that locals sometimes call the Seal Strand. It's not marked on tourist maps, and there's no sign pointing the way. Just a rough gravel track leading toward the water. I found the place late in the afternoon while exploring the coastline. The Atlantic stretched out endlessly beyond the rocks, gray waves rolling slowly toward the shore. A handful of seals were resting on black stone ledges near the waterline. They watched me quietly as I approached. Seals are common along the Irish coast, so at first, the sight didn't seem unusual. But the way they were watching me did. They weren't startled. They didn't slide back into the water like most seals do when people get close. They just stayed there watching, following my movements with their eyes. The tide was beginning to fall, exposing long stretches of slick rock that hadn't been visible earlier. Pools of seawater collected in the crevices, reflecting the dim sky. I walked along the shoreline for a while, filming the seals from a distance and listening to the steady rhythm of the waves. Eventually, the animals slipped quietly back into the water one by one, all except one. It remained on a flat rock near the edge of the narrow inlet, a large gray seal. Its head tilted slightly as if it was watching me. The sun dipped lower, and shadows from the cliffs stretched across the water. And that was when I noticed something strange along the far side of the inlet. There was a figure on the rocks. At first, I thought it was another visitor watching the sunset too. But something about the posture caught my attention. They sat perfectly still, barefoot. Long dark hair moved gently into the wind. I assumed they simply hadn't noticed me yet. The inlet was quiet, except for the sound of waves brushing against the rocks. So I walked a little closer. And that's when the seal on the rock behind me slipped back into the water. The splash echoed across the inlet. The figure on the far side turned their head and looked directly at me. Their expression wasn't surprised or annoyed. It was almost as if they had been expecting someone to arrive. They stood slowly and stepped onto the wet rocks beside the inlet. And that's when I noticed something else. Their clothes lay folded neatly on a nearby stone. And beside them, something dark and heavy. Something that looked almost like a wet animal hide. For a moment, neither of us moved. The wind picked up slightly, pushing small waves through the narrow channel between the rocks. The figure studied me with a calm, steady expression. And then they did something I still struggle to explain. They stepped directly into the water and disappeared beneath the surface without a splash. I stood there, waiting for them to reappear. Seconds passed, then a minute, and the water remained perfectly calm. No movement, no sign of anyone surfacing. I walked to the edge of the inlet and I looked down into the dark water. The tide had pulled away enough that the bottom should have been visible through the clear surface. But the channel dropped deeper than I expected, and the water turned black just a few feet below the rocks. As I leaned closer, something moved beneath the surface. Slow, smooth, rising upward. The gray seal from earlier broke the surface of the water, only a few feet from where the figure had vanished. It floated there quietly, looking up at me. And in that moment, the strange thought crossed my mind that maybe I was looking into the same eyes that had been watching me from across the inlet. The seal held my gaze for several seconds, and then it slowly turned toward the rock where the folded clothes still lay. I followed its gaze, and the hide was gone. Nothing remained except the pile of clothes on a wet stone and the sound of the ocean moving around it. When I turned back toward the water, the seal had vanished. Night was settling over the coastline by then, and the wind grew stronger, pushing the tide slowly back toward the shore. The inlet began filling with deeper water, and I stayed there for a while longer, trying to convince myself that there had to be an explanation. A swimmer? A diver? Someone who had slipped away beneath the rocks? But the longer I stood there, the more the scene replayed in my mind. The folded clothes, the dark hide beside them, the way the seals had watched me earlier, and the way that final one had surfaced exactly where the figure disappeared. Eventually, I started walking back toward the gravel road. The last light of day had faded completely, leaving only the pale outline of waves against the rocks. And then halfway up the path, I heard a sound behind me, a voice, soft, carried by the wind. Calling from the shoreline. I turned. But now, the inlet was barely visible in the darkness. But something stood on the rock where the figure had been earlier. The wind shifted again and carried another sound across the rocks. It was a call, a song. I stood there listening as the call echoed across the shoreline. And then another answered from somewhere out in the dark ocean. And then another and another. Several voices. The figure on the rock didn't move. It simply watched the water waiting. The tide continued rising slowly beneath the cliffs, filling the inlet, reaching the rock where the figure stood. And just before the waves covered the stone completely, the shape disappeared beneath the water, as if it had always belonged there. I stayed long enough to watch the tide swallow the entire inlet, and then the ocean grew quiet again. The rocks vanished beneath the dark surface, and nothing remained except the sound of waves and the wind moving across the cliffs. But as I finally turned back toward the road, one thought kept circling in my mind. In all the old Selkie legends, the creature only returns to the sea after finding its skin again. And if that dark hide on that rock had really been what it looked like, then the question that stayed with me wasn't whether I had seen a Selkie that evening. That wasn't the unnerving part. The horrifying thought to me was, who was the sick human being that took her skin? And where is he now? And that's the tale of the door in the water. And there is a super fan box, you guys, up in the corner. And it's from Raining Sass. Who is that? It only shows me that name. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you so much. That's so generous. Thank you, Matt. Me too. I love that one. Congratulations, Gemini Moon. Woo woo. All right, back to the normal spooky music. That music is reserved for banshees and female ghosts and selkies that are pissed. Hello, Spiritual Diamond. Welcome in. Thank you, Jen, and thank you for the coral too. So pretty. I love those Edison lights so much. Thank you. Welcome in, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore. And I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep. I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. I do write and record all these stories myself, and they are available on my YT channel, as well as all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. Holly, thank you for your merch order. It just popped up. Hi, Joanne. Oh, really? Space elevator? Thanks. Yeah, people think that sometimes. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Welcome to the porch. Yeah, right? It was so fast. Thank you so much for your order. What do you mean, Melina? I literally just did that. I literally just changed the music and the background. What do you mean? I literally just did that. Hi, Spooky Cabins. Welcome in. I'm glad you feel better, Spiritual Diamond. And I literally changed the backgrounds every single story. And I changed the music every 3 stories. Okay, well, Melina, you must have just gotten here then, bae. Because I literally just changed the music back. Maybe get familiar with what the program is before asking people to change it. You know. That's just kind of common courtesy. Is maybe get used to what we're doing here first before immediately asking people to change their program. You know, because that's what we're already doing. So you just look silly because that's literally what I just did. And what I do literally every story. Oh, Spooky Cabins gets the hammock closest to the woods. Because he's late. Uh-oh. Suzanne, thanks for your merch order. That's so sweet. Okay, guys, I'm gonna set up. Uh-oh. James is tangled in the lights again. Spooky Cabin says he feels vulnerable over here. Good night, Nancy. Sweet dreams. We'll see you tomorrow. And thank you, 1985. That's so kind. I'm glad you liked that one. Aren't you guys? Oh no, Sean. Sleep paralysis. I'm sorry. We've had a couple people who come in here because of that, and I hope I can help you get past that and fall asleep again. And I will be right back with the next poll for us to... Uh-oh, Ange says her toe is stuck between the boards. Okay, I'll be right back. Thank you for the window. That window reminds me of the window from Peter Pan. I don't know why. Space Elevator, thank you for the hand hearts in the window. And Jen and Gemini, thank you for the cute little fairies. I'll be right back with the next poll. And Ange, thanks for the heart me. Oh, Lindsay, you just noticed the fire extinguisher? Yeah. I mean, we gotta be safe. We gotta be safe. Wait, why does the porch need maintenance? What do you mean? What needs maintenance? You said you notice something new every time. Yeah, because it's like there is a lot actually going on the porch there's a lot. Okay, guys, the next poll is ready. We have the Haint of Huggin' Molly. We have the White Witch of Rose Hall. We have the Old Lighthouse. We have the Lake Worth Monster. And we have the Last Summer Carnival. And you can vote in the blue box in the top left-hand corner. And you can vote up to 50 times a person. and you can vote for more than one story. And we have The Haint of Huggin' Molly, The White Witch of Rose Hall, The Old Lighthouse, The Lake Worth Monster, and The Last Summer Carnival. Who's it gonna be? Good night, Rhyme. Sweet dreams. We'll see you tomorrow. Huggin' Molly and the Lighthouse are neck and neck, you guys. Uh-oh. Molly's gonna be pissed. And the White Witch of Rose Hall's really gonna be pissed. Tell him that Chupacabra is on my list. Don't worry. I will be doing it. Better hurry up, Sean. You got 31 seconds. Pissed, Sunshine. Pissed. Or as we say in Appalachia, damn it all to hell. Oh, the Old Lighthouse is really going for it. The witches have no hope now. Get ready, you guys, because the tale of the Old Lighthouse just won, and everyone hates my boyfriend. So get ready for the Travis bashing. Yeah, I already see the comments about Travis in the chat. All right. Oh, the boyfriend lore is deep, Delia. It's deep. All right, you guys. I will be right back. Yeah, it's the Travis story thing. All right, I will be right back with the tale of the Old Lighthouse, aka Everyone Hates Travis. And y'all know Travis is devastated by this information. He is never going to get over that you guys all hate him. Just kidding. He doesn't care at all. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He will never know the hatred that exists for him. I'm never going to tell him. And I'm like, oh, this is why he didn't want me to put him in a story. Oh. Oops. Can't figure out where to put the banner. Tanisha. Tanisha always comes out of the woodwork with the funniest damn comments of the night. No Lux by Steph. Welcome in. We're just starting the next story. We're just cackling right now. Hi Tom, welcome in. Tanisha. Wait, Janae, no, I'm glad you asked for it. This is good. And we haven't read this one in a while. Not your bad at all. I'm glad your story won. Michelle said, no shirt, no shoes, no Travis. Right, Holly? That's what I'm saying, Janae. I'm so glad that you did ask for the story because we're all cackling. She just said she hasn't laughed this hard forever. Yeah, that is a good shirt. That's a good t-shirt, Michelle. No shoes, no shirt, no Travis. Yeah. That shirt's coming right up, you guys. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pals Society. This is the tale of the old lighthouse. So, if you guys didn't know, my boyfriend's name is Travis. And Travis and I needed a break from the city. We wanted a break from the noise and the traffic and the constant grind. We didn't want to fly anywhere far, just a quick drive to somewhere isolated and peaceful. And after some searching, we found this old lighthouse on the coast of Maine that had been converted into a rental. It looked perfect. Secluded right on the edge of the ocean and surrounded by nothing but cliffs and waves, we booked it immediately. The drive was about 6 hours, and we arrived just as the sun was setting. The lighthouse was exactly as advertised. Tall, white, and weathered by years of salt and wind. It stood on a jagged cliff with a narrow dirt path leading it. The owner, an older man named Harold, met us at the door. He was friendly enough, but there was something about him. He kept glancing over his shoulder at the ocean, like he was expecting something to come out of the water. He gave us a quick tour, handed us the keys, and left without another word. The inside of the lighthouse was cozy, but eerie. The walls were lined with old nautical maps, black and white photos of ships. The spiral staircase leading up to the lantern room creaked with every step. The windows were fogged with salt, but the view was breathtaking. You could see the ocean stretching out for miles, the waves crashing against the rocks below. It was exactly what we needed. We unpacked, made some dinner, and settled in for the night. The first night was uneventful. just the sound of waves and the occasional gust of wind rattling the windows. But the next morning, things started to get weird. Travis woke up before me. I am not a morning person. And so he decided to explore the lantern room at the top of the lighthouse. His frantic stomping back down the stairs woke me up. He looked pale, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said that there's something up there. I laughed it off at first, thinking he was just messing with me, but he was dead serious. He said he saw a shadow moving in the corner of the room, but when he turned to look, there was nothing there. I didn't really think much of it at the time. Old buildings like this are full of creaks and shadows, but later that day, we decided to explore the area around the lighthouse. There was a small trail that led to the beach, and we thought it would be nice to take a walk. As we were walking, Travis pointed out something in the sand. It was a pair of footprints, small, like a child's. But they were leading toward the water, not away from it. And they just stopped. Like whoever made them had just walked straight into the ocean and never came back. We tried to brush it off, but the rest of the day felt weird. When we got back to the lighthouse, we noticed something strange. The door to the lantern room was open, but we were sure that we had closed it earlier. Travis went up to check, and when he came back down, he was shaking. He said he heard whispering, faint, like it was coming from the walls. But when he tried to listen closer, it stopped. That night, things got worse. We were sitting in the living room watching a movie when we heard a loud thud upstairs. We both froze. Travis grabbed an inadequate flashlight and went to check it out, but he didn't find anything. When he came back down, he looked even more shaken. He said the air upstairs felt colder, like someone had opened a window, but all the windows were locked. We tried to go to bed early, but neither of us could sleep. Around 2 a.m., we heard it again, a loud thud, followed by the sound of footsteps on the spiral staircase. This time, we both went to investigate. The staircase was empty, but when we got to the lantern room, the lantern, the one that hadn't been lit in decades, was glowing. And in the corner of the room, there was a shadow. It was small like a child, but it didn't move, it just stood there. We ran back downstairs and we locked ourselves in the bedroom. Travis wanted to leave right then, but it was pitch black outside and the nearest town was far away. So we decided to wait until morning. But the rest of the night was a nightmare. We heard footsteps pacing outside our door, and at one point the doorknob even started rattling. Travis grabbed his knife and stood by the door ready to defend us if it opened. But it never did. Neither of us got any sleep. And when the sun finally came up, we packed our things as fast as we could and we got the hell out of there. As we were driving away, I looked back at the lighthouse. And for a split second, I thought I saw a figure standing in the lantern room watching us leave. But when I blinked, it was gone. When I got back, I did some research on the lighthouse. Turns out, it had a dark history. In the early 1900s, a family lived there. A lighthouse keeper, his wife, and their son. One night during a storm, the wife and the son disappeared. The lighthouse keeper claimed that they had been swept out to sea, but their bodies were never found. Some people believed that he killed them and hidden their bodies in the lighthouse. The lighthouse was abandoned for years after that, until Harold bought it and turned it into a rental. I don't know what we experienced that weekend. Maybe it was the wind, the shadows. Maybe it was just our imagination playing tricks on us. Or maybe it was something else. Something that didn't want us there. And that's the tale of the old lighthouse. All right, and you guys know what time it is. It's grilled cheese time. Thank you, Misbehavin'. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Jade. Delia, probably not. Matt. All right, you guys. Andrew said, was his knife inadequate? I'll give Molly time. All right, I'll be right back. I know it flew by, right, Holly? I'll be right back with the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And if you're new here, welcome in. My name is Devin, and this is Porch Lore, and I tell spooky bedtime stories to help you relax your nervous system and fall asleep better. I am here every single night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until about 1 in the morning. Good night, Lily. Thanks for your merch order. Sweet dreams. And I do write and record all these stories myself. So if you want to listen to them when I'm not live, you can always check them out on my YT channel or all of the podcast streaming sites. Just look for Porch Lore and you will find me. I also do have some pretty fun merch on the site. By the way, Lily, if you want me to, I'll make the dog one. I can make the dog one tomorrow. And they're very funny and cute, even if you don't want to buy anything. Highly suggest checking it out because it's fun. And a lot of our inside jokes and all that fun stuff. There's grilled cheese shorts and pants and pillows and all kinds of fun stuff. CJ, I will. I love stargazing. Oh, Matt, yes. Hello, Gustav. Good morning. Good morning. All right, I'll be right back with the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Grab a beanbag chair, grab a hammock, sit back and relax, and welcome to the porch. As I always say, there's always room for one more on the porch. Fat bottom girl, aren't they though? The pillows are so comfy and cute. I was shocked. They're so fluffy and great. They're so fluffy and comfortable. I've been shocked by the pillows, so I completely agree. Yes, hi Decaption. Welcome back. Which pillow did you order? Because I have like the white floral pattern one, but I want to get... Yes, I just made beach towels, James. I did. I just made beach towels. I also made like mouse pads and like a desk mat. I made all kinds of stuff, you guys. All kinds. And I also made a new pattern that's like darker with like mountains, like the Appalachian Mountains. Jade, I think everything comes in black. And if it doesn't, tell me and I'll just change the color options. No, Hug and Molly doesn't have a beach towel. Sorry. Yeah, Fat Bottom Girl, I made 3 pillows. Alley Cat, it's all different distributors, but it's all done through, I can't tell you the site on here, but if you click on it, you'll see. Yeah, Jade, the one pattern's really dark. It's not black, but if you're talking about the pillow. Not all that Lurker lost is your favorite. Thanks. I like that one too. I like that one too. Justin said, you know who doesn't get a pillow? You can guess who. Yeah, there's 3 pillow patterns, I think. And I think I could make the Appalachian pattern, the mountain one, the dark purple mountains, into a pillow if you wanted. Okay, I will be... Oh, you like the Mothman merch? Thank you, Holly. Mothman's my favorite cryptid, if you can't tell. So he gets a little bit of extra love. He gets some extra merch. Like the Mothman selfie, I'm obsessed with that. I can't wait for my shirt to come. And Mothman on his cell phone is really funny. And Mothman doing the heart hands with Bigfoot. I just really love them. So thank you. Oh, hell yeah. Art pieces. I would love to see them. That's kind of how I feel like this merch has been. It's been really fun artistically to create this stuff and the patterns. And like, it's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it a lot. You went with the aesthetic one in the koozie. Which one? The moth one? The periwinkle moth pattern? Because that's my favorite pattern. If you haven't noticed, I use that pattern on everything I can. The periwinkle moth. I love that pattern. You just got him a Mothman beanie? Wait, where? Oh, like a hat? Cool. I should make one of those. I should make a Mothman beanie. I know, Delia, and guess what? That's where we're planning on having our first Porch Pal meetup this year. Ian is planning the whole thing. I'm just kidding. I just keep trying to volunteer him. He's not even here. I just keep trying. Devin, you are inspiring me to create. Yeah, do it. More dancer names. Do it. Please. We all wait for them. And yes, happy Mother's Day. Yes, Delia, I will keep you updated. I'll be there too. It's only a hop, skip, and a jump for me. I just drive there. I break for cryptids. That's a good idea. Spooky cabins. That's cute. I wish they had better hat options. On the site I picked, they only do embroidery, and it's kind of annoying. Except for the bucket hat. The bucket hat can be printed, but everything else is embroidery, and they have like very limited colors, and it's kind of annoying. 2 hours? Hell yeah. I think it's like 3.5 for me. Okay, guys, quick swig, and I'll be right back with the night shift at Sycamore Diner. Thank you, Misbehavin'. Thank you, Bed. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Speedy. Thanks, Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Hello, Detroit. How you been? Long time no see. How you doing? And yes, Holly's right. On the Discord, we have a whole section for merch pictures, and everybody posts their pictures of the merch up there. I would love for you guys to do that. Please, 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 please. Just for my memories. This is my first merch venture I've ever done, and I'm very proud of it. I put a lot of passion into the designs and stuff, and I just would love to see all your guys' cute faces. Even if you don't want to put your face in it, just showing it is great too. And yeah, just joining the Discord. I also have my list of stories over there, so you guys can see to request. You can see the names of them, etc. And we just have a lot of fun. Long roads ahead. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but I guess that's kind of how everybody's life is, right? But I'm doing well. I'm glad you're here. You made it just in time for everybody's favorite story. Good night, just saying. Sweet dreams. Submitted for the approval of the Porch Pal Society. Perfect, Detroit. That's what everybody else is doing too. Perfect. This is the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. I'm not usually the kind of person who pulls over on back roads at night. Not unless I absolutely have to. But that night, something about the storm, the long drive, and that growling pit in my stomach convinced me otherwise. I was hungry. It was late October, and I was headed back to campus after a weekend visit with my friends in North Carolina. I had a midterm on Monday, and my plan had been to drive straight through, 5 hours, no stops. But then came the rain. One of those cold, slanted, whispery rains that creeps into your bones and makes the windshield wipers sound like a heartbeat. I had taken the wrong exit, trying to bypass traffic, and I ended up on a 2-lane back road, surrounded by nothing but pine trees and power lines. And that's when I saw the neon sign. SYCAMRE Diner. The O in Sycamore was flickering like it hadn't worked right in years. But the rest was lit up in a cherry red neon, a tiny beacon in the middle of nowhere. I figured I'd grab a quick bite, maybe some coffee, check my map, and get back on the highway. But I should have just kept driving. I should have known something was off the second I stepped inside. The bell over the door jingled, but not like a normal bell. It made this sharp metallic ping that echoed longer than it should have. The air inside was warm, almost too warm, and it smelled like grilled onions and pancake syrup. The place looked like it had been yanked straight from 1957. Checkerboard floor, red vinyl booths, a long counter with spinning stools, even a jukebox that looked like it hadn't worked in decades. And the people, they all stopped and looked at me the second I walked in. Not in a rude way, just quiet, like they weren't expecting me. Like I'd walked into the middle of a sentence that no one wanted to finish. A waitress, tall, with a beehive hairdo and a light blue uniform, smiled and waved me over. "You get caught in the rain, sweetheart," she said, handing me a laminated menu. I nodded, still trying to shake that weird feeling off. Yeah, the highway's a mess. She chuckled and patted my shoulder. "Well, you're safe here. Sycamore's always open for travelers." I sat down at a corner booth. The vinyl creaked, and I remember the jukebox shifted songs by itself and started playing some slow doo-wop ballad that I didn't recognize. I looked around, and everyone looked normal, sort of. There was a trucker with a thick gray beard drinking coffee at the counter. A young couple whispering to each other in a booth by the jukebox. And an older woman stirring tea like she was lost in thought. But they all had the same look in their eyes. Like they were there, but also somewhere else. Like they were watching me out of the corner of their eyes even when they were looking down. The waitress came back with coffee. Strong, hot, and surprisingly good. And I ordered a grilled cheese with fries. Simple, safe. She wrote it down with one of those clicky pens and said, "Don't worry, it's on the house tonight." And that was my second red flag. No diner just gives food away. While I waited, I took out my phone to check the map. No signal, and I mean nothing. No bars, no Wi-Fi, not even GPS. Just a blank screen with a spinning wheel. I glanced out the foggy window, and the storm was still going. But now, the wind had picked up, and I could see the power lines swaying like jump ropes in the dark. But the diner stayed perfectly lit, not even a flicker. The food came fast, too fast, like under 5 minutes. But it looked amazing. Golden bread, gooey cheese, crispy fries with a little metal cup of ketchup on the side. I took a bite. Delicious. I mean, I've eaten at a lot of diners, greasy spoons, college joints, and roadside shacks, but this was hands down the best grilled cheese I've ever had. The fries were perfect, and the coffee never ran out. Every time I took a sip, it was somehow full again. I was halfway through the sandwich when the trucker got up to leave. He walked right past my table, nodded once, and whispered, "Don't stay past midnight." That's all he said. What? But he was already out the door. The waitress gave me a tight smile and walked over, collecting his empty mug. Old Earl, he's always saying weird stuff. Just ignore him. But I couldn't. Something about his voice stuck with me. Something about the way he looked at me, not like I was a customer, but like I was in danger. I checked the clock over the register. 11:42. I figured I had just enough time to finish my fries, grab the check, and head out. I still had at least 3 hours left on the road. But when I stood up, the lights flickered. Just once, and then again. And then everything in the diner stopped moving. The couple by the jukebox froze mid-sentence. The woman with the tea stopped stirring, her spoon hanging in midair. The waitress, her hand reached out for a mug, just stopped. Like someone hit pause on the entire scene. I took a step back, and the jukebox buzzed, glitched, and restarted a new track. I could still move, but no one else could. And then I heard it. Not music, not a storm. A voice. Not coming from anyone I could see. Just a whisper that seemed to echo from the walls themselves. I backed toward the door, my heart hammering in my chest, and I turned the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. I tried the windows, but they were sealed shut. I started banging on the glass and shouting, but no one was outside. Just the wind and the rain and that flickering red sign. SYCAMRE. I turned back toward the dining room, and everyone was gone. Not frozen anymore, just gone. The booths were empty. No plates, no crumbs, no mugs. No sign that anyone had ever even been there. Except for my plate. Still warm and still half-eaten. And then I saw the waitress. She was standing by the kitchen doors, her silhouette backlit by flickering fluorescent light. Her face was wrong. The same smile, but her eyes were empty, black and endless, like someone had painted over them. "You shouldn't be here, honey," she said in that same cheerful voice. Not yet. I stumbled back, knocking over a chair as she took one slow step toward me. The others, they were waiting, but you just wandered in. She raised a hand, and the walls began to shimmer. Literally, shimmer, like heat waves on asphalt. The checkered floor rebelled, and the red booths started to fade, becoming outlines and then shadows, and then nothing. And then I saw it. Underneath the illusion, it was charred wood, cracked tile, broken beams, and black soot, like the diner had burned down long ago. I ran. I don't even remember how I got out. 1 second I was inside, and the next, I was on the side of the road, soaked to the bone and gasping for air. My car was still there, parked on gravel that didn't even look like a lot anymore. Just weeds and puddles. No neon sign, no glowing windows, just nothing. I drove back to campus that night in silence. No music, no Porch Lore podcast. I kept glancing in the rear view mirror, half expecting to see that red neon flicker back to life. I didn't tell anyone, not for weeks. Not until I finally looked up Sycamore Diner on a local history site. And I found it. Burned to the ground in 1972. A gas leak. The whole place went up at midnight. And everyone inside was killed. 5 patrons, a waitress, and a cook. The photo in the article? The same checkerboard floor, the same red booths, the same neon sign. SYCAMORE. And in the corner of the photo, that same waitress, smiling. I never took that back road again. I don't even drive at night anymore if I can help it. And every time I see a neon diner sign, something in me flinches just a little. Because I know I was there. And I know I wasn't supposed to be. But the part that keeps me up sometimes, the part that really makes my stomach turn, that was the best damn grilled cheese I've ever had. And I didn't even pay for it. And that's the tale of the night shift at Sycamore Diner. And with that, I will wish you guys a good night. Thank you. I love spending my evenings with you guys. Thanks for being here. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. And I hope you guys get some lovely sleep. If you have trouble sleeping, check out my Bedtime Stories playlist on my YT channel. Also, feel free to check out the cute merch. And I will see you guys again tomorrow on Mother's Day at the same time, same place, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys very much. I love our community, and I'm so grateful for you guys every night. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Sweet dreams, and don't forget, stay spooky. Thank you, Jen.